So a few weeks ago, I got an email from a player where they said that they knew a way where they could skip almost the entire Horizon boss fight and end it early. And for them, they got it to work almost every single time. They said there were some variables and maybe sometimes it didn't work, but they were pretty sure they knew what it took to get it to work all the time. And what they told me is that this is something that had happened to like Chopper, maybe a long time ago. I couldn't find the video, and that Codename Pizza made a myth-busting video covering it. Couldn't find that either, but I do trust that it's out there. Maybe you guys know. But what he said is it has something to do with having a lot of players in the game, like 3 or 4, and then going to an extremely high round. Well, over the last 3 weeks, we spent a lot of time playing and trying to figure out exactly what it was that was causing it, and I think we got pretty close, and we got it to work every time. And this isn't anywhere near practical, but it's fun, and for like nerds like us that just love to break down the mechanics of zombies, we were really enjoying ourselves and we just thought it was awesome. So this video is just to show you what we figured out and what is possible and how the mechanics work in the later rounds with this boss fight. And for a few players out there, they might have heard about this and they might have done it themselves and they may even know more than I do, but I'm just showing you guys what we figured out and what the majority of people don't know. So after many games of trial and error, what he had reported on about how to end the boss fight early did work. And what it was is that we went in with 4 players and we did all the Easter egg steps that you have to do to get to the boss fight, and we did it all legit. And then right before we planted the rags, we changed the round to over round 100. And when we did that, we were able to end the boss fight early. So what happens is you go into the boss fight and there's 3 phases, and the first phase you put down the rags, you shoot his chest, and then you move on to the second phase and then the third phase, and then it's finally over. Well, with this method you just go into the boss fight, plant the rags for the first time, shoot him in the chest, and then the boss fight's over and you practically skip the whole thing. It does take you back into the map, you go finish the cutscene, you see the rockets blow up the moon, you get the ending cutscene. So yeah, it's all legit, it's just shortened for some reason. And we did this in multiple attempts to prove that it works, and it always worked when it was 4 players and over round 100. When it was 3 players or below that, it would often end it with 2 phases instead of 3. It would still shorten it, but not shorten it to the first phase. And because we did so many attempts and a lot of trial and error, we did have to use a mod menu to advance the rounds to over 100, but the mod menu didn't cause the boss fight to be shortened. That's some mechanic that actually exists in the game. So yeah, we did multiple attempts, and I'm just showing 2 of the games here. We did 102, we did 1 phase. As soon as we planted the rags and shot his chest, it was over. Then we did it again on round 115. Same thing, planted the rags, shot him in the chest, and it was instantly over. Now there's been some speculation that maybe you just need to do a lot of damage to the keeper to get it to end in the 1 phase, but we were in a really high round. We were with 4 players, and we had 1 player running an insta-kill with a pack-a-punched XM, and they basically were the only one really shooting the keeper. Like, I fired a couple of arrows at him, but I'm not going to be doing as much damage as the XM. But yeah, the player with the XM just wrecked him, and it was an insta-kill right here, and this ended the boss fight. And this worked every time. We had 4 players. We'd go to over around 100, and just have a player with the XM and insta-kill on, and we were using as little mods as possible. Like, we didn't even have God mode on. We were trying to do everything legit, so nothing interfered with the game mechanics. So after 3 weeks of testing and using the mod to get over around 100, we've decided to do a live stream and go 100% legit. We will be using round robins to get to 100, but we're going to be doing it on PlayStation console just to prove that we're not using any mods. We're going to go in and do all the Easter egg steps legit, and right before we plant the rags, we're going to go back to the gun machines and start hitting the machine for round robins and get to over round 100. And we'd like to go to round 115, but we'll see if we can make it that high. We're going to try to do the live stream today, Sunday the 17th, here on my YouTube, and I'm going to be going in with the guys that I've been working with on this, and shout out to them. It's Ghost, Craig, Hooli, Codkill Feeds, Perkaholic Gaming, Philthy Phil, Zambie. Yeah, we've been working hard behind the scenes. I appreciate those guys. Now, I've heard multiple ideas about how to end the boss fight early, and there was a recent video on Noah's channel where he was talking to a speedrunner, and that speedrunner said that you just need 4 people, you need to go in with Pack-a-Punch XMs, be running stock option, and just blast him, because the Keeper's health can fluctuate, and you might be able to kill him with so much damage that it ends it early. I'll let you guys listen to what he said.
If you do like 1,000,000 damage to the boss in the first damage phase, you just skip the entire boss fight. It just ends. That's like a brand new discovery that's been found recently.
So like for reference, how much damage do you, like say you use the Pack-a-Punch starting pistols, how much damage do you do with like your full clip with starting pistols?
I don't know how much exactly, but I guess for reference, that the only way it can be done is if you have 4 players. They all have like stock option, the gun that like makes you not have to reload. They all have packed XMs, and they all just spam them. And because you're not reloading, it's just like
yeah.
I think that's.
Again, this video is really recent, and since we were already working on a phase 1 skip the boss fight glitch, we thought, well, let's go try this too. Let's go in and not go to round 100, but we'll go 4-player. We'll get everybody with packed XMs, everybody running stock option, and just blast the Keeper and see what happens. Right here is the footage where we're attempting it. We went to round 18. We did the entire boss fight legit. We all got packed XMs. We all have stock option running. And when we did the first Ragnarok's plant and shot him in the chest, it didn't do anything different. And we all really focus fired on his chest and blasted as much as we could, but it didn't end the boss fight early. We did end up going through phase 2 and 3 and just doing the whole thing. So it didn't allow us to skip it at all. But we are very excited to go in and do this 100% legit. We will not have any mods helping us to get plus 100 rounds. We're going to be using round robins, and that's going to take us probably 45 minutes to an hour just spinning the gun machines and hitting those round robins every round. We're really hoping that we go in and it works and we're able to skip the boss fight and just do 1 phase. Like, from what we've tested over the last few weeks, it should work, but we don't know until we get there. It's gonna really suck if we spend all that time and it doesn't work, but there's a possibility that there's a health fluctuation with the boss and it wouldn't work. And that's something that speedrunner had said, that the health fluctuates for some reason with this boss in this boss fight. They don't fully understand it or why it does it. If we go in and this does work and we get it to work legit, I will definitely be asking some of the higher up coders that understand the code. Like, is there anything in there that could help us understand why we're able to skip it in the very late rounds? But let me know if you guys have ever heard of this, experienced this, know more than I do. If you've got any advice for us, definitely wish us luck. We'll be going live sometime later today, but I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.